Lee Boxing Truth. So, Errol Spence versus Terrance Crawford press conference, or their tour, what you would say, in Los Angeles, was definitely what I expected. You know, both fighters showed respect. Both fighters, you know, didn't go on to say it was this person's fault, it was that person's fault, this is why the fight took so long to happen. And also in the face-off, you see Errol Spence looking tall. Well, we know he's taller, but it looks like he's just bigger than Terrance Bud Crawford. And you see the mutual respect that they got for each other. Terrance Crawford was asked questions of what took so long and all this stuff, and he didn't play into that. I would just put it that way. He didn't play into it. He showed the respect to Terrance Bud Crawford, and he had little jabs to say with, you know, Errol Spence. Errol Spence had the same thing to say about Terrance Bud Crawford. You know, he said, I'm gonna break you like a horse. I'm gonna break you in, or something like that. That type of terminology. And even the trainers were respectful towards each other. It wasn't a going back and forth. You know, there's no need to go at each other like crazy when we already know that the fight is going to sell. You don't need no pump up of the fight. The fight's going to sell. So, with that being said, you know, a lot of people were complaining that fans weren't out there. It was a closed press conference. But, like, really, do we really need it like that, or are we just glad we're getting the fight? You know, as soon as we get the fight, everybody's saying that's all I want to see, the best fight, the best. But then when we get the fight, everybody wants to complain about little things. You know, let's just be happy that we got the fight. Yeah, afterwards we can assess some things and we can be like, hey, Earl, how come we didn't, you know, the fans didn't get involved? Or, hey, Crawford, how come the fans wasn't involved with this press conference and stuff? And, you know, because people really wanted to go and see the press conferences, and they possibly pay money for it. And, you know, so, I mean, those are things that you can look at in the future. But sometimes when, you know, these fighters are so professional and so respectful towards each other, they know that a lot of eyes are going to be watching. And you're talking about guys that are still alive today are going to be, you know, that box back in the, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard and all them days, and Mayweather and Riddick Bowe, and all these fighters are going to be paying attention to this fight. Guarantee you. You know, of course, it's never going to be as good as their heydays. That's just how it goes when you're talking about boxing, and when you're talking about, well, how we did it back in our days. You're always gonna hear the people that been there before, the other generation. They're gonna say we had it worse, or we had the better fighters. That's just how it's always gonna be. I don't always feel that way. I feel that there's some fighters out there that I feel would either do damage to fighters back in those days too. But that's another video. I'm not gonna get into that because, you know, if I start getting into that, you're definitely gonna be hearing people been clicking the thumbs down real quick. As soon as they see the title, oh heck no, he on some other stuff. Shoot, I don't know what Lee Boxing Truth talking about. I'm not with that. Give me my Sugar Ray. Don't be talking about what if this person would have. Nah, don't do that. Compare your group to your group, your age area to your age era. So yeah, the press conference was a great press conference, and that's what we need out of fighters. Both of them showed up. Both of them said what they had to say. Both of them pretty much said that, you know, they want to be the victor when it comes to the fight. And that's what you want to see out of your fighters. That's what you want to hear from your fighters. You want to hear confidence. And we always know Errol Spence is pretty laid back. He's got that laid back type of, vibe with him. Terrance Crawford is not really a media person like that. So, for them being that way, I think the press conference went better than expected. With that being said, tell me what you think about the press conference. Lee's Boxing Truth. Like, comment, subscribe.